What's the biggest risk you ever took for someone you loved? When I was in college, I spent a semester abroad. I picked Prague mostly on a whim. It was far, sounded interesting, and I had never been anywhere in Europe. I figured I'd eat good food, meet some people, and come back with a few stories. I didn't expect anything more than that. The first few weeks were a blur of cheap beer, group tours, and awkward icebreakers. I tagged along to a language exchange one night, more out of boredom than interest. That's where I met Lena. She had this effortless kind of confidence, the kind that made her stand out without trying. I sat across from her while she explained the difference between schön and Schusselich to a nervous tourist, and I was hooked before she even looked at me. When she finally did, she raised an eyebrow and asked if I actually spoke any Czech or was just here for the beer. We started talking, first out of politeness, then because we didn't want to stop. Her stories were sharp and funny, and she listened like every word I said mattered. After that night, we found reasons to hang out again. Then we stopped needing reasons. We'd meet for coffee and end up walking until it got dark. She showed me her favorite hole-in-the-wall bookstores and introduced me to weird Czech snacks I couldn't pronounce. She loved arguing about movies and hated people who walked slowly. She talked a mile a minute and never apologized for it. I don't know exactly when it happened, but I fell in love with her. When the semester ended, neither of us wanted to say goodbye. We made plans. We said we'd visit. We believed we could make it work. For a while, we did. I flew back to the States, graduated, and started a job. She stayed in Berlin. We called each other every day and sent each other job listings in cities we might both end up in. But her visa application got rejected. Then the appeal failed too. After that, something shifted. Our calls got heavier. Everything became more about planning and less about dreaming. I couldn't focus at work. I felt like part of me was still over there, stuck in some street in Prague with her. One night, after another long call filled with silence and frustration, I closed my laptop and just sat there. I thought about what my life would look like if we gave up. It didn't feel like living. The next morning, I quit my job. I sold most of my stuff, packed one suitcase, and booked a flight to Berlin. I didn't have a real plan, just a 3-month permit and whatever savings I had left. My friends thought I was having a breakdown. My parents didn't say much, which honestly felt worse than them yelling. At first, it felt like we were in our own little world. We rented a tiny apartment where the shower barely worked, and the walls were thin enough to hear our neighbor sneeze. We cooked dinner together, danced in the kitchen, and made plans on sticky notes we stuck to the fridge. But reality hit fast. I struggled to find work. My German was awful. Every small thing felt like a reminder that I didn't belong. We argued more than we expected. Some days I thought about going home, but we talked. We fought. We figured it out. We kept choosing each other, even when it wasn't easy, especially then. Now, it's been 5 years. We're married. I speak German, though I still butcher the grammar sometimes. Lena's English is perfect, and she still corrects me when I mess up idioms. We run a little cafe near the canal where she handles the books, and I handle the espresso machine. Sometimes, when I watch her unlock the doors in the morning with that same red scarf she wore the night we met, I think about how none of this would have happened if I hadn't taken that one chance. It was the scariest thing I've ever done, but I'd do it again in a second.